Hello there. I cannot believe what that utter plank our Prime Minister Keir Starmer just told the nation and the Jews that live so peacefully amongst us. And I'll just show you that now.
Good evening. Earlier today, on Yom Kippur, the holiest day for the Jewish community, a vile individual committed a terrorist attack that attacked Jews because they are Jews, and attacked Britain because of our values. So many Jewish families first came to this country as a place of refuge, fleeing the greatest evil ever inflicted on a people. And Britain welcomed them. Communities like the one attacked in Manchester provided safety, but also the security that comes from a promise that this is a country that stands up to hatred, and that we don't just provide refuge, we provide a home. For so many Jewish families, that is the story of Britain. But Britain is also a country where Jewish buildings, synagogues, even schools require round-the-clock protection, where dedicated specialist security is necessary because of the daily threat of anti-Semitic hatred. Today's horrific incident shows why. And while this is not a new hate, this is something Jews have always lived with, we must be clear. It is a hatred that is rising once again, and Britain must defeat it once again. On behalf of the nation, I want to offer my condolences to the families and victims affected. I want to thank the Greater Manchester Police, the first responders, and those dedicated security specialists. There is no doubt whatsoever that they have prevented an even greater tragedy, and we thank them for their bravery. But to every Jewish person in this country, I also want to say this. I know how much fear you will be holding inside of you. I really do. And so, on behalf of our country, I express my solidarity, but also my sadness that you still have to live with these fears. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody. And so I promise you that I will do everything in my power to guarantee you the security that you deserve, starting with a more visible police presence protecting your community. I promise you that over the coming days, you will see the other Britain, the Britain of compassion, of decency, of love. And I promise you that this Britain will come together to wrap our arms around your community and show you that Britain is a place where you and your family are safe, secure, and belong. Thank you.
So, he's promising them some sort of home. That's like telling the chickens they've now got a nice new hen house, but the foxes have also been invited to tea. What do you say to that, Richard?
Well, Jeff, it's like, just straight out, I'm just reading here in the Daily Mail, pro-Palestinian protesters march in Manchester Centre on the day a knifeman killed 2 people at a synagogue in the city. I've had enough of this. We, Jeff, are at war. That's it. I've had enough of this rubbish. I will not listen to another thing that man says. I have to listen to it. We all have to listen to it. He's a liar. Absolute pathetic liar. He has got blood on his hands. And I'll tell you why he has blood on his hands. Because, through policy. I mean, let's not forget he's recognised the Palestinian state and indulging these hate marches, leaving the borders completely open. Now, I'm not saying we don't know, because unfortunately, well, here's a funny thing. We don't know who this person is. If he would have been far right, I'm sure we would have heard about it by now. But we can't actually speculate fully because it might upset some communities. It might upset some people. Yeah. Okay, but we just don't know what's going on, Jeff, and what we do know is that man has destroyed the lives of so many people in this country, and especially the Jews. And look, we've had these hate marches on in London for bloody years now, and Israel's foreign minister Gideon Saar has accused the UK under Starmer of failing to curb a toxic wave of anti-Semitism. No, Sherlock. Absolutely. I totally agree with him there, saying that British authorities had allowed hatred to fester until it spilled into murder. No.
Yeah.
No, I disagree there. I totally disagree. They didn't allow hatred to fester. They've encouraged it to fester. And that's why he has... and let's not forget what Benjamin Netanyahu said, that, we're talking about weakness in the face of terrorism only brings more terrorism, which is a direct warning that Britain's soft approach under Keir Starmer is emboldening killers. And we've said this for a long time, that it would do that, Jeff. And unfortunately, it's one of those horrible occasions where you're proven right. Sorry, over to you, mate.
Yeah, but it's not just that, is it? I mean, you can include all the Tories in that, and the Lib Dems, and the Greens, and the SNP. The whole bloody lot of them are implicated in this deed, misdeed, awful deed, terrible deed, whatever it was, this evil, this satanic act today. They are all implicated in it. And if they can't see that, well, sorry, we have the chance of electing them out. Get rid of the whole lot of them. If they stay in power for much longer, all of this lot, this will get worse. You be in no doubt they are not on the side of normal people or on the side of justice or anything. There's evil in their hearts somewhere. There really is. And we need to eradicate it at the first opportunity via the ballot box, if at all possible. So I've had, as you say, I have had enough of them. They are evil buggers and they need to go. The whole lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's very few people in that House of Commons or that House of Lords or the civil serpentry right now that I would trust at all with anything to do with Britain, British, UK, our heritage, our money, anything. They have failed us on purpose. This is not an accident. They are doing it as a matter of will.
Yes, and there's Jewish leaders in Manchester who say that Britain is treating Israel as a pariah state and has thus turned ordinary Jews here into targets. They are paying the price for Keir Starmer's foreign policy and domestic policy, and the domestic policy of, as you rightly said, of the Tory government and previous governments. I'm sorry, Jeff, this is just gone beyond a joke now. I mean, either we side with the Jewish people or we don't. Either we side with them, and as is good and right to do so, or we don't. And I'm certainly on the side of them, to be honest with you, Jeff. There's a lot of people out there who are not. And I'm sorry, I have no time for you. You are anti-Semites, because they are paying the price. Israel is paying the price right now. If Israel was to fall, hell on earth would sweep into Europe. I can tell you now. Hell on earth. They're the only things holding something back, I can tell you. I mean, it's only days ago,
remember,
Jeff.
I will remember that you and I used to have these discussions many years ago. We did. Really.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking back then about, we foresaw back then a position where at some time in the future, and this is going back years, and we kept it to ourselves, that people would have to make a decision on which side they were on. We foresaw this. We said that at some stage in the future, there will be two sides, and you are going to have to choose. We are approaching, we are here. We have to choose now, today. Whose side are you on? It's gone that far.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Jeff, we can't fully delineate and identify the side of which we are not on. That's not allowed. But Jeff, I mean, it was only a few days ago You had Starmer branding critics of mass migration, for instance, totally unrelated to what's happened in Manchester, of course. Don't you know? Because we don't.
Of course, Richard.
Because we don't know.
Of course.
Yeah, well, we don't know anything that's going on there. Yes, because I mean he's probably far right, as I said. Yes, and it's like anyone who's like a critic of mass migration and diversity, which is effectively a dogma, are now seen as enemies of the country. That was his words. His words. Enemies of the country. Whilst the real enemies were, there they were in Manchester plotting against Jews. Plotting against them.
Yeah.
Those were the enemies. And as far as I'm concerned, the way I'm looking at Keir Starmer now, is he trying to make himself an enemy of the people? Oh, no, you can't be an enemy of the people. That means that you're far right. And I will lock you to jail. Do it, Starmer. Do it. Because you right now are appearing to be very, very worrying. And your words are hollow and empty. Yeah. Can you imagine being a Jewish person right now in this country, hearing Keir Starmer's words on the same day that there's marches, these protesters allowed to march through Manchester, protesting, these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli, anti-Israeli protesters marching through Manchester. Can you imagine what they must be thinking right now? They're thinking they're going to have to leave. That's what they're thinking. And I know it.
And that's exactly what the opposition wants. That's what they want. And that's what they want. That's what these people want. They want to put the fear into them that leads them to go. Then they can say, we won. Well, we can't let them do that. And actually, just what you said where these words are hollow, this is an interesting tweet. I don't know whether we can see it all, actually. From someone, I can't remember who it was, but he pointed out that these two tweets by these two politicians, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves, are almost exactly the same, except for I'm appalled by the attack and I am horrified by the attack. The synagogue in Crumpsall or the synagogue in Manchester, the whole thing, they're both just about the same thing. All they've done is change a few words, copy and paste. Oh, better just change this. There's no heart in there, none at all.
Sadiq Khan's was very similar as well, but that's not to be... and that comes as a shock to me, because I thought Sadiq Khan would have been really, he would have come up with some thoughtful message, I would have thought. Or maybe I'm being a bit naive there.
Yeah. And I just want to move over to these. Well, thank you, Private Jose. Blood on the government's hands, yet the government still let the Palestine march continue. This government is truly disgusting. Yeah, absolutely. As we're saying, that's been a big fuel to all of this, a massive pour petrol on the whole thing and let someone else put the match to it. That's what's been happening. And Private Jose, thank you again. Our government are actual terrorists. Well, it seems that they have absolutely either no clue what they're doing or they're doing all of this on purpose. It really is a joke. And Grandor, thanks very much. Disgusting for anyone that raised the Palestinian flag or allowed or joined the marches to offer any condolences now. May the victims' souls be at rest. Absolutely. These people were marching from the river.
Yes, our Justice Secretary, not our Justice, our former Justice Secretary, our Home Secretary was there waving, was waving the Palestinian flag. And they go, okay. What message does that, having her appointed, knowing her background, doing such things, what message does that send to the Jewish people? Again, message after message after message. You're not wanted here. You're not wanted here. That's the message being sent by this government. And it is truly evil. Let me tell you to the Jewish people now, you are wanted here by the decent, good and ordinary Brits of this country. You are loved and wanted here.
Now, what I must do is, where has it gone? Suddenly, that little thing, that one comment that someone's, oh, look, wake up, just another false flag.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Get rid of that
Now,
one.
there's a good comment. To the depth, Zed. At least we can't prejudice his trial because he's brown bread. Yeah, absolutely. You can't defame the dead either. So at the end of the day, the perpetrator, the alleged dead perpetrator, is gone. Just think, if he was still alive, it cost us tens, hundreds of thousands to keep him in secure accommodation for the few years we did keep him in secure accommodation before we let him out. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? Oh dear. I'm sorry. I'm getting really angry about this whole political situation. Now, I will point out, here's what Advance UK tweeted out, and I'll just show you this. Political cowardice always has a price. Delay long enough and moderate solutions disappear, leaving only drastic ones. We need decisive, peaceful action now, before Britain reaches the point of no return. And
Spot
further
on.
to that, underneath that, here's what Ben Habib, the leader of Advance UK, said himself.
I think the British people want the UK to be saved. They know in their hearts what's required to save it. But you make a very powerful point, Brian, and you said that the steps required are going to be drastic. And the steps required are going to get ever more drastic if the political class don't get a grip of the problem quickly. It's already the 11th hour and 59th minute. It is already very late in the day, but they have to grab it. And if they leave it longer, then the steps become more drastic, more draconian. And what we don't want, what we want to avoid at all possible cost, is a solution that isn't peaceful. We must take the support of the people, give it a voice, and have a peaceable outcome to this for everyone involved.
My goodness,
He's
that's the most
absolutely
sense
right.
I have heard in ages. Wow, Ben.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, my
And that's
days.
why
I mean,
that's why
eloquent and
Richard and I
simple.
support him. Yeah, that's why Richard and I support him.
Wow.
Because he can see right through the garbage. And we all need to see through this garbage. We are really... Keir Starmer can talk about all the crossroads he wants. He wouldn't recognise a crossroads if he tripped over it. All he sees is his WEF-inspired, UN-inspired aim. We must go that way, we must go that way. He has no clue of anything else at all in his little deluded brain. Keir the Clueless. That's why I call him Keir the Clueless. He hasn't got a clue where he is and where he's taking us. At least Ben Habib can see this clearly. We must also... There's a link in the descriptions box below. Join Advance UK and let's get this thing going. You've just heard what he said. Oh, dear.
Well, I mean, then you've got the exact opposite in Starmer, and he's proudly recognised the state of Palestine, sending a message to terrorists that Britain, is willing to reward violence whilst undermining Israel. I mean, but the main component of that is the message that he has sent out is that Britain will reward violence. I mean, I know that there will be some people who will be cheering the dreadful events of today. He mouths these bloody platitudes, that complete plank, as you say. Compassion, decency, and love. Oh, shut up, idiot. Empty slogans, being delivered and just paraded over the bodies of the dead. That's what it feels like. Sorry, I feel really, yeah. And then, go on.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you again, Private Jose B32. They know exactly what they're doing. Like you say, Starmer is like a robot. Starmer is part of the Fabian Society. Yes, a lot of them are. And this is just internationalist claptrap. Trying to convince the people that if they just give up everything for the sake of the global elite, then they'll tell us how to live and we'll all be happy. Well, I say bollocks. I don't give up what they say. I want to live my life the way I want to live it, and I want to support the people I want to support, the peace-loving people who don't come into the country and try to upend everything and change everything. The Jews have lived here for centuries, quietly just doing their own thing. And they've never come, and the only thing that they've had to do is defend themselves, as Keir Starmer had to admit himself. And as I said in a live stream earlier today, I remember seeing the Jews having to defend themselves and their synagogues against attacks and being ready. I've seen it for 3 decades, and he's now admitted it. It's been going on. But instead of allowing, of trying to, what have we done? We've allowed people in who will attack Jews. Bloody ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much from Kaz. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, Kaz.
And also PC, hi from LA. CBP should ban Khan and Corbyn from US. Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, people who espouse a lot of this stuff or even hint at it should be gone. You know, it's I wouldn't let them in if I was an American. It's just yeah.
No.
Yes, and Private Jose, once again, thank you. Advance all day long, or UKIP. I'm a fan of Rupert Lowe as well. Yes, Advance UK, Ben Habib. I've got to say, I'm a great fan of UKIP's new leader, or newish leader. That's what,
he's great.
Yeah,
great guy. Yeah,
yeah. And Nick Tenconi, I met him a few times, and I will say that Nick Tenconi is very focused. He knows what he wants. He knows what he believes. And he's got a lot of that from the Turning Point US, from the poor old Charlie Kirk, who was ended up being assassinated. He was that focused as well. So, yeah. And Rupert Lowe, you can tell just by listening to what he says and watching what he puts out that he is focused as well. This is the sort of focus we need.
Yeah. Well, we've got some good people in this country. We have got good people.
Woolly thinking under the likes of Keir Starmer is finished. It's toast. They've had that. They've tried to tell us all the time that, compromise this and appease that. What they call it, if you remember, all the way through the Brexit negotiations, there was one word that kept coming up: pragmatism. Let's be pragmatic. Pragmatic means giving up. It means letting go of things. It means surrender. That's what pragmatism means.
It means you don't stand for anything, to be honest with you. Yeah,
you don't stand for anything. You're absolutely right, Richard. Hit the nail on the head. Yes. So, yeah.
I mean, so I was just reading some things that the Jews in Manchester were saying, and they're saying it's, just sad lines. It's only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time, I think.
Yeah,
they've been living under this, and now it's happened. And do you think anything's really changed for them? Do you think they're going to feel safe after listening to that prat in Downing Street coming up with those empty words? Do you think, honestly, would you feel confidence as a Jew in your own safety and the safety of your family if you had to listen to that man speak those hollow, empty words? As I said, sorry. What did one say? That Manchester hasn't done enough to protect us. Synagogues have been left exposed with no real visible deterrent. Not a real deterrent. Not a deterrent that would be able to respond proportionately to the level of threat thrown against them.
Yeah.
And Alex Phillips has warned as well on Substack, that there's... Sorry, I'll leave that one to you to talk about.
Well, no, it's all right. You're leading into it. The only thing I wanted to say is that S has put up, Starmer's wife is Jewish, you're being played. What the difference does that make? Do you think that they plot for Zionism in the back room and then come out with what the Guffies come out with so far, all the way on? How are people being played by that? Sometimes I just despair of humanity. But you're right. Just going on to Alex Phillips, she put out something on Substack, and I've got the thing here. So, must read, warning, with America on high alert, the Manchester synagogue attack is feared to be the start of something terrible. I wrote over a year ago that CIA sources feared a terror storm was brewing. And the Substack that she put out, I'll just sort of try and put put it out in easy terms, if I can find the link that I've just put up. While we await further information, she says, about the disgusting terror attack on the Heaton Park synagogue, and even then I wonder quite how much information will be revealed. And that's very telling, isn't it? We haven't actually heard anything about, so far when we came on air, the attacker themselves and the two people that have been arrested. Now, if they were Bill, John and Terry of EDL Limited somewhere up the line, we would all know that right now, wouldn't we? We would all know that. But we haven't been told anything about them yet. But she goes on to say, I can disclose to you that New York has put all of its synagogues on high alert, while we know that the UK Prime Minister cancelled a trip to Norway to hold a Cobra meeting. So he got rid of his meeting today to hold this Cobra meeting. And just so you know, the Cobra bit is the Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. And there is actually a Cabinet Office Briefing Room B, but we never hear about that one, do we? But Cobra is what that means. It's not, so it's just like a meeting room.
By the way, but, Jeff, before you go any further, I would like to recommend for everybody to subscribe and follow Alex Phillips on her Substack. She does come up with some fantastic stuff. A few things I've disagreed with her on, a few things I disagree with myself on. So, yeah, but there we go.
There's loads of things I disagree with you about, Richard.
No, you just don't know that you agree. That's the difference.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay, yes.
Carry on anyway, mate.
Yes. So anyway, Alex Phillips went on to say that whether this ends up being a lone wolf attack or part of a broader coordinated offensive, it is clear intelligence agencies fear something much, much greater. And she actually wrote about this on the 29th of October last year. And she was warning us. And lots of people were saying back then, the CIA included, that things are going to get a bit heated, shall I say. And this year, I fear, as I said this morning, that December may be a magnet for certain people around about the 25th, and
look out then.
At the end of the day, whose job is it to defend us? Our government or ourselves? At this rate, it's going to be ourselves, because our government aren't up to it. They won't do anything that might upset people, will they? It might offend people.
Jeff, before you say any more, when we say we might have to defend ourselves, by that we mean metaphorically. Yes, because
we are a metaphor.
Yes, we mean metaphorically defend ourselves, because we know that Keir Starmer will look after us. We trust in you, Sir Keir. We absolutely have faith in you and your ability to get on top of this problem. Good old Keir. Yeah.
Yes, good old Keir. Yes. And I tell you what, after this attack, I decided I'd go on X and have a look and see what people are saying. And the amount of people blaming it on Zionism, blaming it on the Jews themselves for having the temerity to defend themselves. How dare they defend themselves? How dare they? And all about this Greta Thunberg self-publicising event. And it just sort of just boils your pee, doesn't it, a bit, because of what they're going on about. They can't see. They have no idea about the deaths that have just happened here in Manchester. Not a clue. They're just so fixated on Hamas destroying their own country, or what Gaza is, they think Gaza is. And I've had enough of them. I've had enough. Now, the other thing I did do was I tried to find any information I could on what the hard line of a certain demographic were saying about this on X. Because in the past, what I found was, do you remember October the 7th, 2023, when we had all those celebrations, the people of Gaza were, woo, like this and all the rest of it. Yeah, and they were celebrating. I thought, I wonder if there's any of that on X at the moment. The thing is, I couldn't find anything at all, even in Arabic or anything, or any foreign languages. So it seems to me like someone has said, censor the lot. Anything coming through on X, maybe on Facebook or any other social media, make sure nothing comes through so we can't see what they're saying in places like Gaza, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. I think that is really, really important. We should know what the people in Qatar are saying, what the people in Saudi Arabia are saying, what the people in Gaza are saying about this event today. Be in no doubt, they will have a view. But we don't know what that view is.
Yeah.
We are being isolated into our own little bubble. Just listen to what your government is saying. They're saying this. That don't listen to what the people from around the world are saying, especially in the Middle East. That is being taken away from us.
I don't know.
Did you know?
I don't know. I
couldn't find anything.
I know.
They have a view.
No.
Why can't I find it?
Well, here's the thing, though, Jeff. As you just pointed out, if there is something being prepared for, maybe people are keeping a little bit of a, they're just a little bit of a low profile for now, keeping their gobs shut until moving closer to Christmas. And then I just hope that this is a load of bull, right? I really hope that come Christmas time, there is nothing that's going on. And it's all going to be just, a bit of conspiracy theory and a bit of hot air. That's what I'm hoping for, because I think that would be the turning point for the West. If this does happen, then I'm afraid I think things would change very quickly, that unfortunate circumstances would arise and that people would foolishly do things that are foolish. We'll just say that. Yeah. I can't say any more.
Right. So free, whatever you want to call yourself. Jeff, you're weeks late. We stood together in London. Didn't see you. If you're talking about the 13th of September, check out my live streams.
Yeah, I think that one had 250,000 views, that one did, or over that.
Something like that, yeah. So I was there. Yeah, Hooper Ball says Nigel is weak, while Maudie Edwards said Ben for number 10. I'm with you on that one, Ben for number 10. So, yeah. Yes, this is the problem. The risk of civil unrest is coming if nothing is going to change. And that's the problem, really, isn't it?
It's what we
don't
want.
But I'm looking, as I said, at if we don't need civil unrest, we need change, and we need change brought now. It's up to us to force it on our politicians. How many of you write to your politicians or even engage with them and tell them what you think? If they get enough letters saying we're not voting for you because of this, they soon change. It's amazing how quickly they change their mind.
They'll just cancel the elections. That's what they'll do.
Just cancel the elections.
It's
easier that way, isn't it? Yeah.
Carry on, Jeff. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, and Private Jose says they know exactly what they're doing. Like to say, Starmer is a robot. Starmer is part of the Fabian society.
We already had that one. We've done that one earlier.
Yeah, sorry.
We did that one earlier.
Did we have that one? Kaz, thank you very much.
I think we had Kaz. But thank you, Kaz. I think we did that one, yes.
Yeah.
There are others
we
here.
have. Sorry, there's so many here.
You're going the wrong way, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. I'm always going the wrong way. Yeah. Here we go. John Dingle says, "Hi, Jeff and Richard. Starmer in his speech called for action. In what context did he mean? That's a very legitimate question, because he said he would do everything he could to combat what he perceives as the far right, didn't he?
Or the enemy.
Everything.
The enemy, yeah. The enemy.
The enemy, yeah. You are the enemy. Yes, if you don't believe in what he believes, you are the enemy. We're not going to debate with you. We're just going to fight you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but Jeff. The entire Labour Party conference, you had the Home Secretary, you had Wes Streeting. Everything was just obviously Ed, whatever it's Miliband and
Millipede, yes.
Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer. It goes without saying, but the whole thrust of it was trying to say we hate the rhetoric of the ordinary people of this country. That's what they were saying, effectively. That we hate Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage was just I'm not a great fan of Farage, but I certainly don't fixate upon him in this manner. And I found it very strange that they did. But the overall, what you walk away from is, they are against the British people, that you are the enemy, okay? You are the enemy. If you're watching this, you're probably Keir Starmer's enemy and the enemy of the Labour government. And of course, there are certain factions within society which will have been emboldened by this. And I think that might be what the Israeli foreign minister was alluding to. Yeah.
Maybe. Yes. And John Dingle says, thank you very much. When we are called non-Muslim, it is a derogatory term, deeply offensive insult and a slur against Christians and the Jewish. Yeah, I sort of get that from one side. It's like Keir Starmer calling people far right. That means they're non-woke, non-lefties or non-whatever it is. Same sort of thing, I suppose. I would just say I'm a Christian, and that's the end of it. I'm a British Christian. That's what I am. And no amount of throwing insults is going to change that one iota. Anyway, yeah. And John Dingle, thank you very much again. Pointless writing to MPs, they don't care. They do when the polls go against them.
Yeah.
They really do. This is the only reason that Keir Starmer is changing tack on anything at all. Verbally. Not in reality, verbally. When they write the laws to stop the boats, when they write the laws to prevent people getting benefits and all this sort of thing, when they write the laws, there'll be loopholes dripping out of it. And the lawyers will be pre-prepared in which loopholes to use and when and how. That's how the system works. In fact, someone told me years ago, when you're talking about things like tax evasion or tax avoidance, they never ever change the tax avoidance and evasion rules until they've written a new law with another loophole in it. That's how they do it. And that's why these rich people can get away with so much. It's all written into the law. And it's the same on it's going to be the same with the religious front and all the rest of it. Doesn't matter what it is. They've got a preferred demographic and a preferred wealth group and a preferred lefty group or whatever you want to call it, and they will always get everything they need. The rest of us just have to fork out. You wait. I reckon VAT's going up. Your VAT will be going up from 20% maybe to 22%. It'll just go up. And that's added to everything. From fuel
Jeff, though, I'm sorry,
to everything.
I'm just going back to what Keir Starmer's speech, and it's just really bugging me that he said he said that anti-Semitism is a hatred rising once again. I'm like, the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn was found guilty of anti-Semitism. Am I correct there, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, the whole party was
yes, the whole party
found at fault. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What was it?
And Yeah, and the thing is, Jeff, though, the thing is, okay, so that was under Jeremy Corbyn's tenureship, and that's who Keir Starmer supported as well. But of course, then Keir Starmer had to be seen to remove anti-Semitism from the Labour Party with a few token moves, a few ejections. But it's quite clear that he doesn't care. That it's all a big ruse. It's all a big, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's a game to these people, this is. People's lives are lost every day. People walk in fear around this country because of this game that they play. And I noticed that Keir Starmer said as well, oh, we have free speech, but if you incite people to violence or to, then we will come for you. We will take the whole state and we will throw ourselves at you. And I will personally throw myself at you. Oh, I might send some young Ukrainian lads at you. Oh, there's a nice young Ukrainian lad over there. Hello. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that one. Definitely. John Dingles, thank you very much, says, on digital ID, did you know that Companies House is rolling out biometric digital ID for all company directors soon? Yeah, comply or lose your directorship. I can see that coming. Also, Paz put out a video saying check your phone for the app, the digital ID app that they're rolling out, because some people have ended up with it on their phone without knowing.
I think it's Android phones. Yeah.
Android phones, right. So I've got an iPhone, so I thought I'll go and check. I went onto the iPhone app store, and there you are. You have at least 3 different government ID apps. One for the basic ID, one for immigrants so they can begin to register themselves and all the rest of it. And there was one other for general sort of use with when going to the government for this, that and the other, a one-stop shop or something. I can't remember exactly. But they're all on my iPhone. I thought, where did they come from? But they're not. I have to download them before they become active, obviously. So I haven't done that. But you're right. The company directorships will soon, and that'll be the first of many. You know, if you want to do anything, you will have to have a digital ID. If you want, it will come. If you want an X account, if you want to go on YouTube, we need your digital ID.
If you want to see a doctor.
You might say something naughty. If you want to see a doctor, yes.
Access your bank account.
Yeah. Go to the hairdresser. I don't know. It'll all be there. And this is where it's going. And it's an insidious, slow boiling the frog process. And it will happen. So, yeah, thanks for that, John Dingle. You're right. It's coming. And there's nothing much we can do about it if we keep the current government in place. Gary says Qatar owns half our capital city. It's quite funny, actually. The one thing the British governments and the Brits are absolutely useless at is protecting our assets. Most of the time, if some Brit comes out with a wonderful new invention, they make the first few million and then the whole thing's sold off to a foreign investor. You know, that's how we lost things like the jet engine and all the rest of it. And
our gold.
And it's all that sort of thing. Or it just gets thieved and we can't keep up because the other people are just more ruthless than we are. And they take our intellectual property with them. And the other thing we love doing is selling off property cheap when we need to. When the government needs to raise some money, they just sell off a load of cheap property to anyone who'll buy it. Yeah, and then give them planning permission.
Well, here's the thing, Jeff. How do you remedy that? You have to do some. You'd have to do some things that would be, possibly even left-wing in appearance. Things like nationalising or reacquiring houses sold to overseas oligarchs, etc. That's how you'd sort that out. So, yeah. One of the things I like, which Ben Habib said, incidentally, Jeff, which was quite impressive, he said, we're not left-wing or right-wing. And I said, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness. Well, I just want a political party that will put together the infrastructure for a country that will work. That's all I care about. I don't care if X, Y, and Z is nationalised and everything else is privatised. Don't care. What works? What works for the people?
Oh, absolutely. If it works, it works. It might sound a bit left wing and all that, but water, do we need it privatised? Would it be better if it was nationalised? Just one thing, water. I don't know. It's up for debate, isn't it? Anyway, Bonnie Scott says, has he been named yet? I haven't seen any indication that there have been any names at all on anything to do with this, including the 2 people that were arrested. Now, I'm wondering if they'll keep any of these people in remand or let them out on bail. If they were far right, they'd keep them in remand. Yeah, I'm just looking. I don't see any...
Shabana Mahmood has made a statement, so I did see in the comments, so thank you for that, Keely.
What does she say?
Talks. Anyway, Shabana has said on Twitter, on X, I am horrified by the anti-Semitic terrorist attacks at a synagogue on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Doesn't that sound like a copy and paste? But there we go. The government has stepped up security at synagogues across the whole country, and we will do whatever is required to keep our Jewish community safe. To those who divide us, they will fail. Free Palestine. Sorry, I had to add that free Palestine bit at the end. Yeah.
She didn't say that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, she didn't say that. No, but she previously has on many an occasion. I mean, that's what you sort of get from that, really, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, don't believe you. Don't believe you, Home Secretary. I have absolutely no faith in the single thing you say. That's it. You've already said that. What was it that used the P word whilst describing certain persons in this country, and you said that the people who attended the 13th of September rallies were effectively far right and the natural heirs of skinheads, I think you said. Oh, okay. All right. Then. Yeah. Well, if that's what you think, then we have a really big problem, Home Secretary. We really do. You're so out of touch with reality. Why? In fact, it feels like you're not just gaslighting, you're knowingly lying. That's what it feels like to me. I could be wrong, of course. And you could have our best interest at heart. Yeah.
As Andrew says, I was shocked to see pro-Palestinians and leftists openly dancing and celebrating in the city centre of Manchester this evening. I find that totally and utterly sickening. They should have cancelled the event immediately that happened. They have shown themselves to be exactly what they are. Be in no doubt, they have exposed themselves as exactly what they are. Horrid little people. Yes, and as the bad lieutenant says, can we guess why the suspect hasn't been named yet? Yes,
Jeff. In the Daily Mail, exclusive suicide belt-wearing Manchester attacker was an Islamic terrorist. It can be revealed. So there we have it.
Right.
So I'm just going to send this over to you, Jeff. Hang on a second.
Oh, have you got a picture of it or whatever?
I'll do that now. Well,
I'm just looking up the actual thing itself. Oh.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't the far right after all. Ah, really?
Well,
there you go, Jeff. It's there for you.
That shocks me, Richard. It really does shock me.
Yeah, well, if you can get that on the screen, I'll read the rest of that out. It says here, a knife man who went on a barbaric rampage, slaughtering 2 people at a synagogue, is an Islamic terrorist. It can now be revealed. Wielding a blade and a fake suicide bomb vest, the Islamic fanatic went on a 6-minute stabbing spree, leaving 2 dead and 4 seriously injured after crashing his car into Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester, targeting worshippers on a sacred day of prayer, reconciliation and reflection. There we have it. There we have it, Jeff. That's it.
Yeah.
Now we know.
No, it's at last. So, and that's a Daily Mail exclusive. So the rest will be following on pretty soon. All I can say is, well, I'm shocked. I mean, everyone was on the left was gearing up for this.
I thought it was the far right. I did.
Thug.
Yeah, I thought it was far right. I mean, why would I think anything else? Why would I? How stupid of me to think something else.
Yes, and thank you very much, John Tierney, for your contribution. Great coverage. Well, we're doing our best. We're just trying to keep up with this fast-moving situation, actually. It's quite pacey, isn't it? So there you go.
But, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, one thing we have to say as well, now that it's been found to be an Islamic terrorist, you can't tar all people with the same brush, and he is not like all the other Islamic terrorists out there. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean Muslims, sorry, not which are totally different. Which are totally different. Sorry, totally different.
Yeah. It's quite funny how
Muslims are just Muslims. Yeah.
Those on the other side, though, feel quite happy to target every single Jew on the planet, don't they? And they're happy with that because they're all the same.
Yeah.
But when we look at them, well, no, you mustn't call us all the same, you know. And I'm thinking, yes, let me think about this for a couple of seconds.
Well, no, I mean, we should never, ever, as I said, tar everyone with the same brush, because that's not right, is it? It's illegal, and it's all those things that are not right, of course, which Keir Starmer has made quite clear. I mean, and with the new Islamophobic bill going through, you have to say, you know, Islam's a religion of peace. Look at it.
Yes.
Everywhere, every country, Islamic country, is a beautiful, peaceful, utopian society. And so, and we should not for 1 minute consider Islam to be a negative influence upon cultures, because we love Islam and its impact. And the more Muslims who come to Britain, the better, apparently. So it all just seems to be working out. Great, yeah. Pardon me, burping.
FPV Angel says, no religion is peaceful, be realistic. I think I would question that. And in actual fact, I would probably put at the top of the list of the non-peaceful as atheists. But, you know.
Oh, yes,
or somewhere
absolutely.
Near the top. Somewhere
That's a very
near the
good
top,
point.
I would call it.
Yes, but, you know, we must remember that atheists are all, you know, we can't tar every atheist with the same brush as well. Like we can't tar everybody with the same brush on everything. Interesting video to watch as well, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, with Winston Marshall, and a chap who's done a good sort of deep dive, a historian and researcher into the history of a certain religion. It's over on Winston Marshall's channel, and it's very, very much worthwhile watching. Very enlightening. A lot about the Crusades, which I found fascinating, because the Crusades are maybe not what we thought they were, and maybe they've had a bit of a bad rap. But I don't know. I'm not an expert, am I? No.
Yes.
Christianity is not peaceful either. Oh, hang on. Somebody says here Christianity is not peaceful either. Well,
But Michelle disagrees.
Christianity is peaceful. Oh, well said, Michelle.
Yes.
But we mustn't judge everyone the same, and we mustn't tar everyone with the same brush.
Absolutely. Yes. Have you read the New Testament? Yes.
Yes.
Actually, someone said Christianity has... Yeah. And the Old Testament.
I've read the Srimad Bhagavatams, yes, the Old Testament. The Srimad Bhagavatams, the Bhagavad Gita. I've read quite a few books, religious books, the Quran included. Yeah. Not all the Quran, but the fair old chunk of it. I found it not... Anyway, but, you know, we can't be saying anything bad about any books, religious books, because they're all equal, and everything is equal, and everything is relativistic, and it's a joyous utopian Britain that we live in. And Carver said, yes.
Yes. Now, Maureen Ball makes a good point here. I won't go into the rest, but basically Starmer blaming the British for hate. That is the big thing, isn't it? When anything is wrong, when anything doesn't seem to work, the British are the hateful ones. They are the far right, the bigots and all the rest of it. So as soon as anything goes wrong, it's all the fault of the Brits who built the nation in the first place. And we should start there. Every time Keir Starmer and his ilk, all of them on that side, stop blaming us. We just live here and have for generations. Stop blaming us. Other people are the problem, not us. There you go.
No, Jeff. Now according to the Daily Mail, though, he's an Islamic terrorist. So
Yes.
what is that? What's the Justice Secretary going to do about that? I mean, this now does seem like you did read out the words of a mosque in the previous live stream, Jeff, where they said, we want nothing to do with this, and well, it does appear that this man has come then from within the Muslim community. I could be wrong. He could be something else entirely, being an Islamic terrorist. But so it does appear as if maybe they're not dealing with issues within their own community well enough. But that's, it's just idle speculation, really, I suppose, by myself. And I retract it immediately after saying it.
Yes. I'm just reading further into that Daily Mail article. And it says, faith leaders urge the government not to let a growing tide of religious hatred stemming from the conflict in the Middle East poison Britain's streets. I'm afraid they're about 2 years too late for that call. It happened
What
on
does that
day
even
one.
mean?
Yeah, on the 8th of October 2023, they were already parading in our streets against the Israeli self-defense, when the Israelis had done nothing, and they already had their pre-prepared placards. The money had been spent on getting them into London, all the rest of it. So that poison was spread at least 2 years ago, if not before.
Absolutely.
And I still remember I went to London on a couple of marches well before October the 7th, and Richard here was warning me. He said, when I said, there's this load of Palestinians marching up the road, and he said, stay well clear of them, they're dangerous. Yeah.
And what did you do? Walk straight to the bloody middle of them, you bloody idiot.
Yes, I know. You know me.
Yeah. There he was with his camera. Honestly, Jeff. Anyway, this is not. I feel a bit guilty about laughing. It's been a bloody awful day, and it's time to wrap this up, I think. Yeah. And
I agree. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight and watching two old men try and dissect the world events. And please, I in the last video I prayed for the Jewish people and for the families of the victims and for the victims themselves. And I'm not going to do a second prayer, but keep them in your prayers. And I know many of you think that prayers do nothing. You're so wrong. They do. They really do. But action does things as well. And the action that we have in front of us now is to throw our weight behind those people who will and have the intention of helping us. And I will first of all mention Ben Habib and Advance, not Reform, sorry, Advance. Yeah. They're the only people who seem to be switching the Overton window. But also, I'd like you to think about Mr. Nick Tenconi as well. And I'm not sure exactly what role he's going to play in the future, but my goodness, that young man has got some guts. And the future needs people like Nick Tenconi. Actually,
Richard, you and he are going to have a little tete-a-tete on this channel, aren't you, next week?
Yeah.
Yes, I look forward to that one, ladies and gentlemen. Richard and Nick Tenconi will be having a chat on this channel, and I shall be staying in the background, just recording it all. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be it should be a very good one, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it's going to be next week. Anyway, we're hoping it'll be next week.
So definitely hope.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Just to say, Josh Levy says, Jeff and Richard, I don't think you look like skinheads, but I like that English style. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice to finish on a good note.
Yeah.
And on that note, I would just say, God bless everybody who's watching and maybe not watching, and I hope your evening goes well from now. And let's hope for better for this country. And on that note, I'll just say it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Goodbye from Mr. Jeff Taylor. Goodbye.
Goodbye.